Well, it's now October, which officially means that autumn and cozy season is here. So today, let's get started with the perfect autumn craft that's going to make your home look lovely and inviting this autumn. Let's jump in. So to create this adorable autumn bunting, you're going to need some cardstock. Luckily, Paper Cutz have got a huge variety of autumn colours available. I love this deep forest green, and there's some beautiful shades of brown as well, which is sometimes a bit trickier to find. And obviously it wouldn't be autumn without the classic red and orange. The Paper Cutz cardstock is super smooth, it cuts beautifully, and it's really vibrant too, making sure that your bunting takes centre stage. I'll drop links to all of this wonderful cardstock in the description box down below. And a great big thank you to Paper Cutz for sponsoring today's video. To attach your tags, you're going to need some sort of adhesive, either a glue stick or double-sided tape. I'm going to use double-sided tape because I love how it instantly dries and it's just a little bit quicker. Perfect if, like me, you're impatient. You're going to need something to string it on. I am using old-fashioned twine. I use this for quite a lot of things. I think it looks beautiful with the browns especially, and obviously it's nice and autumnal as well. If you would like to use a different ribbon or twine, then go ahead. You're going to need a silhouette cutting machine. You can use another cutting machine, but the template that I'm going to gift you is only compatible with silhouettes. And lastly, of course, you're going to need that cutting template. I'm giving this away for free to all of my lovely viewers, and you can find it in the description box down below. So I've done all the hard work and I've already designed this all in silhouette for you. So we're going to hop on over to Silhouette Studio now so you can see. When you first open the document in Silhouette Studio, you will see it looking a little bit like this. I have grouped everything in colours and obviously filled them with suggested colours, but you're able to completely make this in whatever colour combination you would like. These are multi-layered, so we have obviously different parts for each design. So you can see here we've got the acorn, and the base itself is a lighter brown, and then we have this darker brown that goes on top. And exactly the same with the conker. We have got this kind of inside of the conker, and then the darker green, and then the conker itself nestled in the middle. Now, obviously, if you're not keen on any of these shapes, you don't have to use them. These are all just suggestions, and we are going to go ahead and cut them now. Now, they have been sized, but the great thing about silhouette is that you can obviously adjust this to any size you would like. I have only put one of each on here, but if you would like to make a longer bunting, then you can go ahead and do that by just selecting whatever shapes you wish to cut and then go to the duplicate and have a play around to make sure that they fit on your sheet. Today we're going to be cutting on A4, so I'm going to make sure that this is set up for A4, which it is, and I'm going to be using my larger cutting mat just because that's the one I've got ready. So now we're going to head over to settings. And this is actually 120 GSM. It's a little bit thinner than the 160, but it cuts beautifully and is just as durable. I'm going to put the force up to 25, and I'm going to put blade depth to 4, and speed can be upped to 5, and line segment overcut should be on. You may need to have a play around with these settings on your machine. And now it's the fun part, time to start cutting. So we now have all of our bits cut out, and I'm going to use a Pritt stick just to assemble them. So obviously you need to work from the back upwards. So with this little mushroom guy, we are going to make sure that this is facing the correct way. Then just put some blobs of glue stick on, press down, and then do exactly the same with the little mushroom cap. And there we go, we have a really cute little mushroom there. Now, because these are double-sided, you can actually flip them. So instead of having two that are just slanting slightly to the left like this, you can change them round so that this one is going to go to the right. And by using Pritt Stick, you've got that little degree of movement there. So if it's not in the perfect place straight away, then you can kind of just slide it or even peel it back up quickly and re-pop it on. So now we have two of the same shape, but because we flipped them, they have a little bit more character. Now with the acorn, we've only got two colours, but we need to remember when we're peeling everything off that this bit here also needs to be popped on its own. So I'm now going to go through and assemble everything. So we now have all of our lovely autumn shapes, such as the conker, a lovely leaf, a mushroom, an acorn, an oak leaf, and another random leaf in an array of lovely autumnal colours. So now we actually have to attach the back bit, which is where the string for our bunting is going to go. So these have got little perforated bits here, which you need to just fold up, and we're going to attach them with some double-sided tape so that obviously we can then stick the string or the ribbon through. So we are going to try and aim to have these in the middle of the shape. I have done these in a few different colours, in the red and the brown, and that was basically just wherever I could fit it on a spare area of the cardstock, I added these on. So I'm going to use double-sided just because it will give me a much quicker seal. So I'm just literally tearing this off, one on each end, then removing the backing. And we're aiming for in the middle, but we want to try and have it so that it's kind of pushed up a tiny bit. So it's more like this. This will just make it easier when you're trying to thread your ribbon or your string through. So there you go, you can see there. And now we need to do that on all of them, but we must make sure that obviously they're facing the correct way. Obviously it's your choice how you have them, but for me, I would like to have them hanging up vertically rather than horizontally. So now that we've got these all cut out, assembled, and with the little tags on the back for threading through, it's time to actually thread them. Now, the one tip I would give you is to make sure that you don't cut this off until you are happy with the spacing between each of your little silhouettes, between each of your little autumn shapes. Now, the reason for that is otherwise you could end up wasting lots of string by finding out that this is a bit too short and you want it longer. So I just find it easier doing it this way. So we are going to literally just feed it through. That is why I have done these, partly, is because obviously it's so much easier. You could kind of add the circles and then thread it through, but I wanted a cleaner, more professional finish like this. And once it's on there, you're just going to thread it further down and start with the next one. Okay, so I am going to try and pop some pins up here just so that you can see roughly what it would look like before it goes into its final space. Okay, so I'm going to go along now and just make sure that I'm happy with the spacing and alignment between each one. And this will give me an idea on whether or not I need to cut more for its intended space, or if this looks okay. Now, I think this looks absolutely adorable. I am a sucker for an autumn craft, and this has been great fun. Now, the good thing about this is that you can do it with children or grandchildren. You can decide on the colours together, cut everything out, assemble, and then obviously decide where it's going to go. You might be wondering, why didn't I decide to use Paper Cutz' fantastic photo card and then do a print and cut version, which would definitely have been much quicker? Well, original viewers will know that my business started all the way back in 2013 when I used to make layered paper cuts. I love the texture and the contrast of colours when you have cardstock layered up on each other, which is why this really appeals to me. I didn't want something flat. I wanted something that had real definition and was a bit more tactile than what you'd get if you just did a print and cut. Another great thing about this is that it is reusable. You may have seen recently on social media, a lot of people are complaining about how commercialized autumn and Halloween is getting in general, and how it seems to be all about buying new decorations each year. The good thing about this is that it is sturdy enough to store away and get it out year on year. So now that it's finished, I think it is time to put it in its final place and get ready to decorate. And another reason that I didn't include any holes to thread them through and instead had the little backing bit is so that you can size them down and you can actually make really cute little autumn embellishments like these. These are great for scrapbooking, card making, and you could even use them as little tags if you wanted. Whereas if I'd put the holes in, it would have just been a bit faffy. So remember, if you would like to download this to make your own, either for the bunting or if you want to have a go at something else with the shapes, then the link is in the description box down below. I've really enjoyed making today's bunting, and now I'm thinking, do I need a Halloween version? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to say a great big thank you to following along with me today. If you have any comments or questions, just drop them below and I will be sure to get back to you. If you've enjoyed this video, and especially if you've downloaded the free cut file, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you've got a crafty friend that might enjoy this too, definitely share the link. And I can't wait to see you next Friday for another crafty video. Bye!